Very good morning. Welcome to my class. Today we are going to see the estimation of absolute performance. This is under module number 4. This is input modeling data. So now we will see the estimation of performance. So we have to consider the estimation of performance parameter theta or theta phi of a simulated system. It is desirable to have a point estimate and an interval estimate. The length of the interval estimate is a measure of error in the point estimate. So the simulation output data are of the form y1, y2 till yn for estimating theta. We refer to such output data as discrete time data because the index n is discrete valued. So the simulation output data are of the form y of t 0 to t for estimating phi. We refer to such output as continuous time data. Because the index t is continuous valued, for example, y might be of backload orders of time t. So now we will see the estimation of absolute performance one by one. So the main aim over here is if is a system performance, the precision of estimator can be measured by the standard error and the width of the confidence interval for purpose of statistical analysis. To estimate the standard error or CL, we have to figure out the number of observations required to achieve the desired error or CL potential issues to overcome. We have a test called autocorrelation test and frequency test over here, and normally in this we are going to apply the hypothesis testing, and we are going to compare the test with the existing one and not with the future one. So autocorrelation, we can say the example called inventory cost for subsequent weeks lacks statistical independence, and initial conditions example we can say the inventory on hand and hash of back orders at time 0 would most likely influence the performance of week 1. So this is the main outline. We have two types of simulation. One is transient and another one is steady state. So transient is nothing but we can say the termination, and steady state is nothing but non-termination. So we have to see the point estimation before this. So point estimation is of theta based on the data, and also it is based on the bias, and it is defined by so theta pi equal to 1 by n summation I equals to 1 to n yi. So where theta is the sample mean, and this is based on the sample size n, and computer simulation languages may refer to this as a discrete time. So now we have to figure out the observations there and there. And here we have to illustrate the inherent variability in a stochastic discrete event simulation, and we have to cover the statistical estimation of performance measures. So we'll see, we will analyze the transient simulations and steady state simulations, how it is. So when we see the transient simulations, we have a condition that is initial condition and then ending condition. So we have to apply the initial condition as 0 and ending condition 450 minutes or 350 minutes, any timing ending minutes we can give. And so for example we can say bank is a very good example for this transient simulations, like a customer, the interaction between the customer and teller. So the customer in the sense we can say like the banker, he is having a interaction between the customer and teller random wise. So the customer arrive to the bank randomly, and they may be in queue and they may go on for some other work, and then so this is totally based upon the queue discipline and queue behavior. So this is how we can say the concept of transient simulations and analysis of the transient simulations. And steady state simulations, now this is a non-termination, there is no any ending of sessions, it's a long and continuous process. So here we can it is desirable to have the estimations that are unbiased, and if this is not possible, have a small bias related to the magnitude of theta. We can say the examples called estimators of the form like the point estimators. This is under the unbiased and then data. So this is a variability in output measures. One is terminating versus steady state simulations, and another one is point estimators for terminating simulations, and confidence intervals for terminating simulations, and warm up time, and how to treat the steady state simulations. So this is the measure how to do single server queue, arrival rate and then service rate. One is exponential and another one is normal. And there is a performance measure over here: average queue size, maximum queue size, average waiting time, maximum waiting time, and excuse me. So average time in a system and maximum time in a system, and server utilization, and then number served. So server utilization means the server is busy when queue is in process. So this is how the performance measure. like we have to find out the waiting time by getting the turnaround time minus some other thing, and the queue size and queue process, everything is depend upon the queue discipline. Once the customer arrived randomly, then they may be in under process, and they may be waited for they may be waited for some other process also, so that we can find out the maximum density and then maximum available time. Here for example, we have made a total of 5 runs of the simulation. So total productions of each run have given. So the value for production which is correct, like instead of giving 4 runs of simulation, we can give a single way, this one. So we'll see the difference between the terminating simulations and steady state simulation. So in this terminating simulation, we have a distinct start and stop time for the process, and steady state process tends to run the forever and tends to start with no entities in system and end with no entities, and here interested in long term trends. And here we have an example called fast food and Bezet furniture door frame assembly cell, and here is an example of assembly lines and evaluating WIP in depot maintenance, and here evaluating manpower loading requirements for depot maintenance. So here in an example, Nashville glass float line. So this is the main difference between these two things. Thank you.
At pa yun ang mami.